my check's clear. I'm a hero. Acting really came and saved me from the strip club, you know? I studied psychology. I failed out of school because I was sad and dumb. And then I started working. I became a phone text operator for 3 years. And then I just got back into school. And someone called me and said, oh, I think you should audition for this thing. And I was like, no, that sounds stupid. But I ended up at that audition, and it was the second week of me going back to school. Finally, I was like, I'm gonna get my psychology degree, I'm gonna do it. And then boom, I'm at an audition on a Monday, I'm hired by Wednesday, and I never became a psychologist.
Was this for your iconic role?
Yeah, so the audition was for Precious, yeah.
Do you ever think about going back?
Oh, no. Do I think about going back to school? I don't, because I'm very lazy. I feel like acting really came and saved me from the strip club, you know? Got me off that pole because I couldn't have stayed there. I think everyone was a little bit confused. Actually, no, I was confused. Everybody else in my life has always said, you need to be an actor or you need to be a comedian or something because you are very funny. And so when I said, hey, I got the role in a movie, everyone was like, that's right. I think it took me a very long time to be able to see myself. And so I just was really, really confused, but kind of just going with it. I was just winging it, really. I think the moment I really realized that I had arrived was I wrote a book called This Is Just My Face, Try Not to Stare. And in it, I write about my time as a phone sex operator. And I knew that story was interesting and funny and really, really, really expansive. I thought it was a wide story. I thought there was, because there were so many characters that I met in my life at that place, and I just knew that it was really, really important. And so we turned it into a TV show. We made a pilot, and even though that pilot did not go, that is the moment I really feel like I arrived, because I was telling my own story the way I wanted to tell it, and I was getting to be the artist that I didn't know that I was when I was on those phones, you know? Empire was created by Lee Daniels, who is the director of Precious, and he was like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, okay, let's go to dinner. And at the dinner, he was like, oh, so I wrote the script, and you know, and it's a pilot for Fox, and do you want to read it? Can you just read it and give me some notes and stuff, tell me what you think about it? And I read it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And he's like, well, girl, if you want one of the roles, you can have one. And I was like, okay. And so I took the role of Becky. Becky was originally it was written on the page as a petite white woman. And I said, that feels like me, you know? That feels like me. Let me step into who I am as a petite white woman. And that is how I got the role. It was kind of the easiest role I've ever been given. He was like, girl, if you want it, you can take it. And I was like, okay, sure. We had a lot of fun. And we used to hang out all the time. I think that we used to hang out at Taraji's all the time. We used to get together to watch the episodes. As long as we weren't working on those days, we would watch the episodes together. And she would cook, and she would make mashed potatoes, but it would turn out that they would be cauliflower, and be like, she made a very powerful enemy that day.
Is it seasoned?
Well, yeah, but still. But if you think you are biting into mashed potatoes and it turns out to be cauliflower, do you not kill everybody in the house? What I learned most from the cast is that they are willing to cheat at spades. Terrible people. Terrible people. Villains. So my experience on American Horror Story, yeah, I played Queenie, who's a human voodoo dog. I got to be a witch, which was really, 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 really dope. And that seems to be everybody's favorite season. They love people identify with witches, man. They really do. And we shot in New Orleans for about 7 months, and New Orleans is its own special place. It's so great there. And so it's not spooky, but it is also haunted. It's not spooky. It's kind of a friendlier kind of haunt, I think. A very, very old haunt, a lot of history. And there was an experience where I had to say something in Latin, and the thing that I said in Latin wreaked havoc all over my body and set, and my lip, and like my lip blew up, like my back. It was a whole thing because words mean things, whether you're saying them in front of a camera or not. Words mean things. So that I had to be careful about. But honestly, I had a lot of fun, and the universe of American Horror Story is kind of expansive, and you can just sort of get in and out of all of these different stories. They kind of connect, which is really, really fun. And death doesn't mean anything. I've died on that show like 6 times or so, and that's really fun. Like, death scenes are kind of cool, especially when it doesn't mean that you're fired. What's great is I really do love what I do. I love what I do. And so I don't often think about the money when I'm choosing roles. The problem with kids is they're expensive. So I kind of have to think, they force me to think better about the money. Also, I want to do things that I think my children would be proud of me for doing too. Honestly, I want to say that they actually don't impact my decision making when it comes to my career, but I don't think that that's true anymore. I just really don't. What I was worried about was having to memorize the entire movie before you shoot. That's not how it happens at all. First of all, you get sides every day. So like, let's say every Monday night when I'm wrapped, I have them send me the sides for the next day so that I have everything in my email that night. I go home, I take down my makeup, I do whatever I need to do. I get in bed, I read my lines. I do them, I practice them that night. I go to sleep. Going to sleep is a very, very important part of learning lines. I'm not kidding. Go to sleep. And then, do you know how long it takes to shoot a scene? Like, even if you don't have it in the first take, you will have it, like, eventually. And there's also a script supervisor that'll be like, line, but I don't like to use them because I'm dope. You know what I mean? I wake up to go back to bed. Everything I have to do in between, I'm only doing it to get back in the bed. I'm not late. I'm never late. I don't hold anything up because I'm trying to get back to bed. And if I don't know my lines, I'm holding the day up. I'm not just holding the day up for me. I'm holding the day up for the entire set, the entire cast and crew. That could be 200 people. And on top of that, a lot of time on a TV show, like on a network show, they keep track of who's late because that has to go back to the network head so that they can decide whether or not you're a problem or if they like working with you. Now, these are things that I didn't know, but apparently I be falling in good favor with them because I like to go to bed. Will Smith told me that he learned his lines and everybody else's lines. He did not know that you weren't supposed to do that. And he told me that in the first like season, the first few episodes of Fresh Prince, you can see him lip reading other people's lines. You can see, because he's like, and then he'll say his line because he does know their line. Because he was like, yeah, I did it the dumb way. And I'm like, oh, you dumb baby. You dumb baby. You don't have to do that. Yeah, but he didn't know any better. Isn't that interesting that you can go back to the first episode, the second episode, and you can literally see him moving his lips when he's like talking to James Avery. Yeah, so Give Me Back My Daughter. It's a story about a mother, Renee, and her daughter, Amani. Renee is a widow, and, she is really great at her job. She's well educated, got an MBA and everything, but there's downsizing at her place of business, and so she finds herself jobless, and, like a lot of Americans, she is 1 or 2 paychecks away from being evicted, and that's what happens to her, and she and her daughter end up living in their car, even though she's like pounding the pavement looking for work, and the circumstances fall in a way where she actually has to leave her child in the car for a job interview, and that gets her arrested and gets Imani put in foster care. And so the story is about her fight to getting her back. It's sort of the first role offered to me since becoming a mother. And I had my kids, and I thought, oh, wow, this is a way of playing a mother that's like and in my first film, Precious, I was a mother technically, but like it was less about that and more about the abuse. But But I thought, oh, this is a great chance to actually dive into this new the era of my life in which I'm a mother and playing it on screen. And I thought that would be really, really wonderful and easy to play. Not just easy, but like I thought it would be really fulfilling, you know? And my character Renee, she really is a mother. She's like washing her baby down and smelling her pits and taking her to school and juggling her life in this way that, you know, can sometimes seem sort of impossible for me, you know, even though I've seen my own mom do it because she was a single mom. And I just thought it would be really, really, it was really easy for me to connect to in that way.